Hello guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today we'll be talking about order blocks. We're going to be looking at the order blocks that work and the ones that don't actually work and how you should actually avoid them. The criteria that you should be looking for an order block to be considered valid. That's why, so most traders don't actually know how to mark order block. That's why they keep getting tapped in and then stopped out. But here is one type of order block that consistently work. And once you understand it, entries becomes very clear. Okay, entries becomes very clear. And in this video, I will show you the only types of order blocks that work. Okay, by using these three scenarios on the screen and why they work and exactly how to trade them step by step. Here's the problem: most traders mark every random zone as order block. There's no structure, there's no context, no confirmation. That's why price blows through their levels like they don't exist. Okay, so now let's look at these other blocks right here on the screen. You can see that all of them, the structure is actually a downtrend. Okay, first you have to actually identify the structure. All right, if the market is actually trending to the upside or trending to the downside, and then you find the order block. Okay, so right here we have this order block right here. Okay, so this is a valid order block. Why? Because another block is basically a three candlestick pattern. So we have this middle candle right here. Okay, we have this middle candle right here, right? And then we have this second candle right here. If you notice, this second candle did not actually take out the high of this other candle. All right, so it created this candle low, it was able to be taken out. Okay, and then we have the third candle. All right, so you see that this third candle did not actually come to meet this other first candle. All right, so with that regard, we have what a valid order block. Okay, let's go through it again. So for an order block to be valid, okay, this candle high must not be taken out by the second candle. All right, so you see, and then the candle low must be, the second candle must take out this candle low. All right, and then the third candle must not trade to this candle here. So there has to be a gap that has to be filled. Okay, we call that gap a fair value gap. So you see, so now what happens? The market has to trade back to this particular candle here before dropping to downside. All right, so since that is clear, now let's look at that same candle, this same pattern here, right here. So now you see that it, specifically, most times the market will not respect this particular one. The market will come all the way to that particular area right there and respect it before pushing to the downside. Okay, so now let's look at it. The candlestick color does not actually matter. Okay, so right here you can see that this candle high was taken out. So since that candle high was taken out, which candle becomes our order block? We have this particular candle right here. Okay, why? Because the second candle did not take out, this second candle right here did not take out this candle's high. Okay, all right, and this candle here took out this candle's low. Okay, and then we have another candle right here. All right, so now let's make it clear so that you get to understand, like I illustrated earlier. Okay, the the second candle must not take out this candle's high. Okay, and this candle right here, this the second candle must take out this candle's low. It should not be equal lows. Okay, and thirdly, this candle right here must not trade to the first candle's low. Okay, so there always has to be a gap that has to be filled. Okay, so you see what happened, the market will trade there and then is a valid order block. All right, now since that is done, let's look at the the third scenario right here, the second scenario. All right, so right here, okay, you can clearly see that this is a valid order block. Why? Because this candle right here took out this previous candle. It took out this previous candle's what um high, all right, and created another high. Okay, so it created another high, and the second candle's high did not take out what the first candle's high, and the second candle was able to break structure of the what of the first candle. Okay, break the first candle's low, and then from there on we have the third candle which did not trade close to what um did not trade close to what the first candle's what um low. Okay, so therefore we have what a valid order block. What do you expect? You expect the market to trade back all the way to that area, and then from there drop to downside. Okay, so since that's that, let's look at this particular area right here. Okay, let's look at this particular area right there. All right, so this one, okay, this particular one, you can see that this particular one is not actually valid. Okay, we have our first candle. Okay, and the first candle high was intact. Okay, the second candle actually broke this low but did not close above. Okay, and then the third candle, you see the third candle high, okay, came close to this our first candle's low. So that's not actually valid. It's not a valid order block. Okay, but if this candle particular candle high actually took out this particular candle's high, and then it would have been a valid order block. Okay, but in this regard, that's not a valid order block. So you just have to avoid that one. Since you got the context now, let's look at this particular one. For this particular one, these are two equal lows. Okay, these are two equal lows. All right, and you can also see that the second candle actually traded to this particular candle. The third candle, sorry, the third candle actually traded to the first candle's low, so that's not valid. But for this particular one here, you can see that this is valid. Why? Because this first candle actually took out what this candle's this particular candle high, okay, and then created a high. Then the second candle did not trade to that did not take out that first candle's high, but was able to take out this candle's low. Okay, so therefore we have a valid order block. And then the third candle must not trade to, okay, like you can clearly see here, the third candle must not trade close to there. So therefore we have what a valid order block. You expect the market to actually come to that zone and then trade to the downside. So you must not always find it perfect, but now that you understand the basic principle, let's go to the main chart and apply it to our chart. Okay, this is a future analysis. Okay, why am I actually looking at this? All right, why am I actually looking at this? Okay, now let's look at this. Sorry, let's look at the daily time frame. Okay, there's a lot of things which I'm actually putting into consideration. All right, now good. Nasdaq is what overbought. Okay, since Nasdaq is overbought, I'll be looking for short positions. All right, that's first, that's your analysis. You have to look at the bigger picture. So secondly, you have to go to a 4 hours time frame, all right, and do whatever you do. Okay, you can see that now that the market is actually what consolidating. Okay, so right now the only thing that can come to my mind is, okay, the market came, you felt this fair value gap. Okay, but it was actually ranging before coming back to fill this fair value gap. Two things can actually happen here. Okay, the market can actually continue to push to the upside. Now look at the fair value gap the market fell. Okay, so the market filled this fair value gap right here. Two things can actually happen. It can continue to push to the upside or it can drop. Okay, but now let's look at the reason why I'm actually considering to sell this. Okay, I'm building up a story, right? So now we have this particular chart right here. Okay, so this market created what a high, created a low, created a high, created a low, and then created a high. All right. But what happened? We have what here we have what a break of structure, right? So next we have another high being created, okay, but did not actually take out this previous high, okay. And secondly, we have this low being taken out. All right. With that regard, so we can see that we have two breakup structures right here. Okay, but that doesn't really mean anything. Okay, Why? Because where the market is coming from, it's coming from a 4 hours fair value gap. So now applying the principle which we studied today, which is the fair value gap, oh, sorry, the order block. Okay, you can see now that this candle right here was able to take out what this particular candle's what high. Or even if you decide to use this particular candle, it took out that particular candle. And this is our candle one, right? So since that's our candle one, you see now that the candle two took out this candle's low, okay? Took out that candle's low. And then the candle three, which is this particular candle right here, it was not able to trade into before closing. It did not trade anywhere close to this particular candle, so therefore we have a valid word order block. Okay, we have a valid order block. All right, so now we're going to mark our order block zone right here. We're just going to pick it from that candle to this candle and push it to the upside. So now what do I want to actually look at now that the market has actually traded into this area? I want to see what a shift in market structure. So right here, I just want to see something like this. All right, something like this before I actually enter and then shoot the market to the downside. So this is basically simple, right? It's very, very simple. You just have to build up a story and then know exactly what you want to do before you do it. So now let's look at the next big thing. We are looking at gold. All right, gold. Okay, let's keep it simple, guys. So for gold here, I actually used fair value gap, okay, to actually enter this trade. I'm on it live, okay. I'm on it live. All right. So I'm expecting market to actually continue pushing to the upside. Why this low was taking, the market structure shift has actually happened. Let's look at the 45 minutes. But this is not why we are here, okay? We are here to actually look at what fair value, sorry, order blocks, okay? So now let's look at yesterday's market, all right, so that you can clearly see, all right. I think this might actually distract us, so let me just take it out. So now let's look at yesterday's market, all right. So you can, like I said earlier, order blocks are mainly what a three candlestick pattern, all right. You see now this particular and the color variation does not actually matter, okay. Now look at this particular candle right here, okay. You can see now that this candle took out this candle high, all right, and then created a high, which you can clearly see, okay, created what a high, all right. Since that's established, we have the second candle, candle two took out this candle's low, okay, candle two took out this candle's what low, all right. So since candle two took out that candle low, what are we expecting? We're expecting candle three to not to close not to close. This is not actually valid though, but let's look at it then. So we are looking at candle three not to close to that candle one low, okay. So it should not come close, so there should be a gap. Keep that in mind, there should be what a gap. So now guys, now that all that is established, you can clearly see that there is gap here, okay. So this gap has to be what filled, okay. You can see how the market, what the market did by after actually filling that gap. So the market crashed to the downside. You see, the market swept this candle, then filled that gap, and then you can clearly see now that what happened. Even if you decide to sell at that fair value gap, but I like to sell at this our order block candle. I like to sell right here, okay. And these are other block candles. You can actually pick it plus the whole week or the body, whichever way you prefer to actually mark it. All right, the stop loss always above it. Okay, so now these are a other block right here. Okay, let me just go ahead and differentiate that. Let's see. Okay, I don't actually have that. So your stop loss always above. Okay, always above. You can aim for this low. All right, so you can always aim for that particular low right there. So you see how it plays out. Okay, see how it plays out. You can always do this. All right, most times you can use the smaller time frame to actually mark that out. All right, can always use that. So let's look at another scenario here. Okay. So guys, the reason why I actually looked at this one to be a valid order block is because now you can see now that this particular candle was able to take out this particular candle's low. Okay, we have been looking at the bearish ones before. Right, so it took out that candle slow. Okay, and our candle two was able to take out the our order block candle high. Okay, you can see that our order blocks candles high. Okay, let me just bring this down a bit. So it took out that our particular order blocks candles high. Okay, and then it created the candle tree, which candle tree did not come anywhere close to our candle one slope. So that's we have a fair value gap right there. Okay, let me just go ahead and delete this. So we have our fair value gap, which is right here. Okay, so since we have our fair value gap right there, which the market did not actually trade to, which it's therefore a valid word order block. Okay, so this right here becomes our valid order block. All right. So why is this not deleting? So you can clearly see that even when the market traded into it, I waited for a shifting structure before I actually executed this trade. Okay, this is Coco. Okay, so this is Coco chart, right? So I'm actually looking at some more bullish move, and I'm playing since I'm actually a farmer of the cocoa market, cocoa product, and I also trade it virtually. So this is it. So I'm expecting some more push. If the market can actually push to 5,000, 6,000 before the end of the year, it's going to be actually good for the cocoa market overall. So if we can actually aim here, it'll be fine. It'll be perfect. So right, mind you, I just not actually trade that. Okay, I've been following it for weeks. Okay, I know where the market is actually coming up from. So it's coming from this particular area. So after how many years of not actually touching the 2020 key level, so the market came back, just bounced off that 2020 key level. So I'm expecting it to continue pushing to the upside. I hope overall the market is actually reversing. So that's that. If you've actually liked anything about this video, just leave a comment. If there's anything you'd like me to upgrade and talk about, let me know, please. Thank you, guys.